Hello folks, today is Friday, March 17th, 2023. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here to talk about all the video game news that has been going on this week. It's quite a week, so let's just jump in. We got a lot of spicy rumors and weird things to talk about, and this first one is a brief little, seemingly update, a little bit of trickling of info on that Assassin's Creed codenamed Red. You remember this one being officially teased by Ubisoft a while back? Well, Insider Gaming is reporting a little bit of info from it. Take it with a grain of salt. It's from sources, unnamed sources, but according to them, there's going to be both a playable samurai and shinobi character. We don't know how they're going to be played, but there's a little bit of a story origin thing there that I won't share here. If you wanted to, if it is real, maybe you'll want to see it for yourself, but I will link this source in the description down below. But the biggest thing is that apparently the game is going to be designed around a big focus on stealth, like proper stealth. We're talking hiding bodies, hiding in tall grass, apparently extinguishing lights so that you can creep around in darkness, with this source actually citing Splinter Cell as kind of an inspiration. That's really it. Not a lot of information, but again, it was interesting if true. I mean, for me, it actually kind of sounds too good to be true, but Ubisoft is going in a little bit of a direction with some Assassin's Creed games lately. You know, we've been talking about Assassin's Creed Mirage with a more back to basics approach, but granted, we haven't seen anything of that game since it's been announced. I'm still waiting on that. But this codename Red, this like samurai shinobi thing is kind of the Assassin's Creed game that people have been asking for a long time. And for it to be a little sneaky, a little Tenchu style stuff, that'd be awesome. Again, it's a leak from sources. Insider Gaming has been having a lot of stuff lately, putting a lot of stuff out there. We haven't gotten confirmations on all of them yet, so just take that for what you will. We actually have more stories from them to talk about in a bit. But the next big news thing is that reviews have dropped for Resident Evil 4, the remake. And the reviews are pretty good, myself included. The Before You Buy video, if you're watching this on Friday, will be out. I mean, spoilers, I'm like a Resident Evil fanboy, but it's a really solid remake. It is not one-to-one. It changes some things up. Some things are more exciting. The story and characters have little bits more depth. Some of the encounters and the bosses are just like insanely cinematic. It really just feels like a sequel, like a straight-up sequel to Resident Evil 2 for real. The game isn't technically out until next Friday, so like I'm only going to say so much about it now and like avoiding spoilers and stuff, but there is some interesting stuff to talk about in the Before You Buy, so I will link that. But just want to say my heart also goes out to all the people that had the big collector's edition for Resident Evil pre-ordered at GameSpot, where apparently they canceled a lot of them.
You said GameSpot.
GameSpot?
You said GameSpot.
GameStop, the store. God damn it. I don't know if you guys saw that headline like last week or so. A slew of them were canceled. I ran to the computer to check my order. Thankfully, mine is safe. But if you're one of those people, sorry. Maybe check your order. Jumping back, though, I said we were going to talk about another story from the website Insider Gaming. Tom Henderson is reporting that PlayStation 5 Pro is a thing. Again, a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt. But according to this report, it is well in the works with possibly some sort of announcement or even release in sometime late 2024. For me and a lot of people, like this isn't like an unpopular opinion, but like that feels a little crazy. If you think about it, PlayStation 5 is technically like 3 years into its life cycle, and by the time that releases, it'll be a couple more years, but things are different now because it took so long for so many people to get their hands on it. And so many games are still also being cross-developed for both PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. So like you might think like, oh, really? Already? But I also, on the flip side, gotta say, corporations are gonna be corporating. To make money. They're always iterating, they're always developing new things, they always have new products in the pipeline. It's how tech works. I mean, it's like with any type of product. I mean, like Google was working on the Pixel 6, but they already had plans and things in motion for the Pixel 7. Granted, like those are yearly releases, those are cell phones, but still, it's just generally how things are going to go. With the PlayStation 5 Pro, the other thing that is interesting is the Mark Cerny patent that was filed like a week or so back that made some headlines. We didn't talk about it because it was too technical, but it's essentially about ray tracing and how Sony can differently harness ray tracing. So, you know, there's speculation of whether this new alleged PS5 Pro will take advantage of that. Who knows? I say they gotta relax with this stuff. We just bought the PlayStation VR 2. That was expensive, so like slow down. We'll see if it's actually true though. Of course, we'll keep you posted. We're here forever, every Friday. And in some more business type news, Fortnite got in trouble. Well, like, not really. It's Epic. Epic has been penalized by the FTC, specifically to the tune of a $245 million fine for apparently tricking users into making unwanted charges. The FTC is apparently going to use that money to provide refunds to certain customers, and this is to settle charges that the company used dark patterns to trick players into making unwanted purchases and let children rack up unauthorized charges without any parental involvement. This is via the FTC's website itself, and it actually seems like this is a positive jump for consumer protections in terms of disputed charges on your account with stuff like microtransactions and stuff. Because the order bars Epic from blocking consumers from accessing their accounts for disputing unauthorized charges. That would be shitty. As you probably remember, there was a settlement in December for $275 million in penalties. So, like, the money is just flying out of Epic's pocket, but they have so much. I feel like they sneeze that much in a day with Fortnite. So, hey, whatever. But it's very interesting to point out. If you want to read up on the info, check it out. Hey, now, next up, have you ever seen a link or gotten an email that just seems so real, but it turns out to be totally fake? This is something called phishing, and these links and emails can trick you into giving up your credentials. You need to check links fully and carefully, and thankfully, our sponsor today, NordVPN, has a feature that can help you out with that, as well as a bunch of other things. As you might already know, NordVPN is the #1 thing we install on all of our machines here for online security. I have it on my phone. We trust it. And with NordVPN, all of your internet data stays safe behind a wall of next-gen encryption, and we love that NordVPN protects your data. They have a strict no logs policy so your private data isn't collected or shared or sold. And about those tricky links I mentioned at the start, thankfully, NordVPN offers threat protection, which you can switch on whether you're connected or not to have it keep watch over bad downloads, links, and trackers. It's got you. And it has a variety of use cases that I didn't even have time to mention here. So if you haven't gotten into a VPN yet, now is probably a good time because Nord has been offering a birthday celebration discount and they've extended it to the 21st. So click the link in the description down below or head to nordvpn.com/gameranx. Viewers get a huge discount on a 2-year plan plus an additional gift. Sign up during this special time and you can get at least 4 months or up to a year of free NordVPN service. It's risk-free with Nord's 30-day money-back guarantee, so give it a shot. That's nordvpn.com/gameranx, and big thanks to them for sponsoring this video. Along with that, a small little update about the Activision Blizzard saga. There are new headlines every day with a company saying one thing or doing one thing, but just the raw basic stuff is that now we know we're going to have a real substantial update in May. May 22nd is apparently the deadline for the EU competition enforcer to make their decision. Now, granted, that's one regulating body of one company, but that's a pretty significant date. It's one of the bigger investigations. So Microsoft is apparently making remedies, but as of right now, March 22nd is probably the deadline for when we're going to hear a substantial full ruling by a government body. Oh, next up, just a little follow-up to the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League delay stuff. We talked about that a week or so ago, where it got pushed to later in the year, but then also other sources were reporting that it may get pushed until next year. Jason Schreier, the reporter from Bloomberg, who has gotten a lot of this stuff, some sources and stuff right in the past, said specifically that Rocksteady has not announced the delay because they might not have a new date. And he also corroborated that they might slip it to 2024, but also said that despite that, the core game can't change within that time period. People are thinking, of course, that, with a delay, all the microtransaction, games as a service, online stuff that people didn't really want in this game are going to be stripped out, but that's a core part of the game. They can't overhaul it that quickly, but we're just going to have to wait and see. This game has been in development forever. They're going to have to put it out at some point. And along with that, if we're talking delays and stuff, it isn't a week without a real delay. The System Shock remake has been delayed. It was going to drop in March, and I was actually looking forward to it. It had like a Steam demo a while back. People are pretty positive on it now, but it's now pushed to May. May 30th on PC. Check out, it's like classic gaming PC stuff. But I'm just linking cool stuff in the description down below. Some stuff I think you should check out. Do some reading. We talk about video games all the time. You might as well be read up on them, right? This is a pretty good interview from Eurogamer with some folks at IO Interactive, the folks behind Hitman. They talk about kind of putting Agent 47 on ice for now and to work on a new super secret agent, 007, James Bond, and they talk about how that's been still the early stages, but how this is actually going to be a completely new origin story for James Bond. We knew they were doing a whole new James Bond, but this is apparently going to be an origin thing. And I'm curious to see how that goes. Like, how do you outdo Casino Royale? Can it be done? We're going to have to wait and see. If I got my faith in anybody, it's IO Interactive, because they made Freedom Fighters, one of my favorite games. Anyway, Freedom Fighter reference, we got one. Just check those Jake boxes every freaking time. Also linked in the description down below, 2 new trailers dropped for Tekken 8. Some juicy gameplay, specifically with martial law and, of course, King. Got some King fans here. The big boy. We love him. This game looks crazy, and I'm not like a hardcore fighting game guy, but I always jump into a good old Tekken, and wow, this is looking sick. Also, Atlas Fallen has gotten kind of like a cinematic but somewhat gameplay trailer. This is the next game for the folks behind The Surge. Previews are dropping for it, so check those out with your favorite website or YouTuber or whatever. Along with that, just want to shout out my podcast I do with my friends, the Friends Per Second podcast. That'll be linked in the description down below. On Saturday, we're dropping our new episode where we actually have an interview with the Destiny 2 lead guy, and with Lightfall dropping, we tried to ask him some questions about how that's going. And of course, I gotta link something dumb and fun. This is from Marcos RC, who has a video showcasing the Resident Evil 4 chainsaw demo already being modded with CJ from San Andreas in it. And I think that's kind of perfect because like that whole intro scene in Resident Evil 4 kind of embodies the whole "aw shit, here we go again" meme. So check that out if you want. Send them some love. But last but not least, a public service announcement that you can get a Diablo 4 beta code by eating at KFC. Specifically in the United States, they brought back the Double Down, and if you get a Double Down or other type of thing, you get access to a free beta code. That is wild. The Double Down is something I ate a lot in high school and college. It's not good for you. It's actually illegal in some countries. It is a chicken sandwich, but the bread is also chicken. Whatever it is, it's good. It's not good, but it's good.
Not good for you.
Not good for you. Maybe you're here for a good time, not a long time, and you want to play Diablo. I'm going to KFC to get my ass one of these because Activision Blizzard does not answer my emails, so I'm just going to kill myself with chicken. Anyway, that is going down right now, so let me know if any of you have gotten on that or if you've done it by ordering KFC. Let's talk Diablo, but let's talk about all the stories and everything going on this week. Let me know what you think about the PlayStation 5 Pro rumors. Let me know what you think about Assassin's Creed, the codename Red. Let me know what you think about Insider Gaming as a source. Let me know what you think about Suicide Squad possibly being pushed to 2024. And if you done a deep dive and read all the Resident Evil 4 remake reviews, are you excited? Because I am. I mean, like, I already played it, but you know what I mean. Anyway, I'm a mess. I gotta go back to work. More Resident Evil videos and stuff to work on. But thank you guys for being here. You know we get you caught up real quick every Friday. So all you gotta do is click the like button. It very much helps us out. And of course, the pinned comment, let us know what video games you're playing this weekend so we can tailor our videos to you. It's kind of like research. Just reply in that comment thread. Thank you if you do. But hope you guys have a nice, good, safe weekend. I'm Jake Baldino. See you next time. Pizza's on me.